Magandang araw, Smart Traders. I'm Ed Sagibo, Learning and Development Head of Smart Trade. Welcome to our year-end market recap for quarters 1 and 2. Ngayong araw, pag-uusapan natin ang pinakamalaking market movements na nag-shape sa first half ng taon mula sa inflation trends, interest rate shifts, global economic events, hanggang sa mga currency pairs na nagpakita ng strong volatility. These insights are designed para mas maintindihan ninyo ang bigger market picture at kung paano nakakaapekto ang mga ito sa trading opportunities na nakita natin itong buong dalawang quarter. So sit back, take notes, and let's take down the major developments of Q1 and Q2 of 2025. So nung January of 2025, gold was up by 6.54% at 2796.27. Gold showed early strength driven by investor caution and elevated macro risk sentiment. So ang mga nag-cause ng mga ito ay growing safe haven demand sa global trade tensions and geopolitical uncertainties that resurfaced, no? Maalala natin na nung January of 2024, muling naglunsad ng paglusob ang Russia sa Ukraine. So it was also supported by weakening confidence in fiat currencies. In February of 2025, gold reached 2858.60, which was up by 2.23%. Momentum carried over. January, gold remained attractive as investors repositioned amid subdued risk appetite. Contributing factors dito, yung moderate use economic data, yung real yields natin and yield expectations remained cautious, reducing opportunity cost of holding non-yield assets like gold. So yung continued inflows naman from institutional investors and rising central bank interest rates in bullion reserve accumulation underpinned demand. So ibig sabihin, yung mga factors na yan, they contributed in the demand for gold, no? So kaya umakyat yung presyo ng gold in February of 2025. So in March 2025, gold registered a remarkable increase to 3,123.05. It was a significant jump in gold price, marking a strong monthly gain. This was likely amplified by renewed geopolitical risk and global macro uncertainty. Number 2, dollar weakness also played a role. A softer USD makes gold cheaper for non-USD buyers, boosting demand. So ano po bang ibig sabihin nun? Halimbawa, pagka hindi dollar ang pera mo and you are an investor at pag bumababa ang value ng gold, nagiging mas mura ang gold para sa'yo. Kasi as we all know, Gab, ang presyo ng gold is usually priced in US dollars. So pagka bumababa ang value ng US dollars against other currencies, nagiging mas mura sa mga non-dollar holders ang value ng gold. So that also underpinned the strengthening of the value of gold.
Tsaka sir, yung 9.25% na yun, ayun yung start ng surge ng gold, no, this year.
Yes, so yun yung pinakamalaking increase na register so far. So nung April of 2025, umakyat din ang gold at elevated the levels of 3,116.71, which was an increase of 6.20%. Because of global uncertainty persisted and safe haven demand, given ongoing geopolitical friction and trade war anxieties, it supported the upward movement of the gold price. And also, it was fueled by central bank purchases and institutional flows continued to absorb available supply, limiting downside, no? So ang ibig kasing sabihin yan, during that time, nag-increase ang pamimili ng mga central bank sa gold because why do they buy gold? Kasi nagda-diversify sila ng mga holdings nila. Hindi lang sila nagko-concentrate sa US dollar ngayon, so bumibili rin sila ng gold. And also, the easiest way for investors to diversify is also through ETF purchases, no? Kaya we have seen a surge in the ETF investments about sa gold. So yun yung nangyari nung April. That's why umakyat pa rin ang gold despite the initial surge of 9-something% nung March, umakyat pa rin siya ng 6-point-something% nung April.
Kumbaga sir, tuloy-tuloy pa din, no?
Tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung akyat ng gold. So nung May naman, gold registered a slight decline, no, sa kanyang upsurge. Ito ay nagtapos ng 3,292.14 by the month end of May. So ang nag-influence dito is most influenced likely by profit taking and some stabilization in risk sentiment, reducing urgency for safe haven exposures. And also, shift in expectations around the interest rates and real yields may have contributed to the dampened gold's appeal. So nung May, nag-register ang gold ng slight decrease sa kanyang momentum, no? Nagtapos siya ng 3,292.14. So probably ang reason nito was profit taking sa mga investors because they saw stabilization in risk sentiment, and they saw also reduced urgency for safe haven exposure. Dahil bukod diyan, nagkaroon din ng shift sa expectations ng US interest rates and real yields, which may have dampened the gold's appeal temporarily. Yet again, in June of 2025, we saw slight decline in price of gold. It ended at 3,264.03. The price drifted modestly lower because there was a mild pullback after earlier strong gains, and possible drivers during that time were stronger USD sentiment or modest improvement in broader risk sentiment, reducing safe haven demand. So some demand still from central bank accumulation and investors viewing gold as a medium hedge against uncertainty. So just to recap what had happened in the first half of 2025, yung mga recurring themes that drove the prices of gold during that time. So, ang first is interest rate dynamics and real yields. So, lower yields or expectations of rate cuts usually made the gold more attractive relative to relative to bonds or other yield-bearing assets. So, ang ano kasi niyan, usually, pagka nag-expect ang mga investors na magka-cut ng interest rates ang mga central banks, they usually expect the currency to weaken because furthermore, if nagkakaroon ng geopolitical risk, tulad ng karaniwan na nangyayari noong mga time na yon, they tend to shift to safe haven assets. So kaya nakita natin yung growth sa price ng gold.
Kaya sir, yung na-cover mo from Q1 to Q2 is yung gold talaga, no? Kasi sa lahat ng mga instruments na pwedeng i-trade ng mga investors, pinaka-attractive talaga si gold.
Si gold.
Kasi 'di ba lagi natin sinasabi sa mga trainings, no? Even sa seminars or webinars, lahat ng trainings na yung mga nagte-trade sa financial markets, sir, no, regardless of the assets, lagi may mga market uncertainties. So anything can happen sa market as long na pwede siyang i-trade, as long na open, and yung mga ganung aspects, no.
Tama ka dyan, Gab. At kaya rin nagiging long-term hedge ang gold is because it retains its intrinsic value, unlike fiat currencies na pagka nagkakaroon ng giyera o nagkakaroon ng geopolitical tensions, no, lalong-lalo na kung giyera, they tend to lose yung kanilang value. Another recurring theme also that happened in first half of 2025 is yung US dollar weakness. USD softness made gold cheaper for non-USD buyers, boosting global demand. So, paano po bang ibig sabihin yan? Ang US dollar, pagka bumababa ang kanyang halaga relative to other currencies, since gold is always pegged in US dollars, nagiging mas mura sa mga non-dollar holders. So kaya dahil sa naging mas mura ito, mas naging attractive na bilhin ng mga investors ito, mga non-dollar holders na mga investors.
Tsaka sir, no, habang itong video na to, habang nire-record natin siya, na-check ko kanina dun sa page nung CME, yung FedWatch tool na yung rate cut bets sa December. Tumaas siya ng 89%, which is nanggaling na 87%. Gawa nga nilabas yung ADP this week. So ayun din yung dapat abangan ng mga traders, no.
Tama ka dyan, Gab. So kung nakikita natin, dire-diretso pa rin yung expectation, no, ng market na magka-cut ang US. So we can still expect more easing cycles from the Federal Reserve ng US. And again, ang next point natin na recurring theme for first half ng 2025 is yung safe haven and geopolitical demand. So yung trade tensions like the continuing tariff ni Trump, tariff war ni Trump. So yung global economic uncertainty, no, kasi ang US ngayon ang laki-laki na ng utang ng US, no.
Correct.
Umaabot na ng ilang trilyon. So may nabasa nga ako, ilang trilyon yung sinasabi mula nung umupo lang si Trump. Inabot na ata ng 2 trillion ang utang ng US. So yun, that contributes, no, sa nagiging uncertainty sa economy ng US, and that drives the US dollar to slide down. Geopolitical risks triggered demand for gold as a hedge. So yun yung mga recurring themes natin for H1. And aside from that, central bank and institutional demand then, they also contributed in the movement of the price of gold. So large-scale gold purchases by central banks and renewed ETF institutional flows tightened supply and supported prices. So yung mga yan, bakit ETF kasi ang tinitingnan dyan? Kasi ang ETF ang pinakamabilis na avenue ng mga investors para mag-invest sa gold. Kasi nga they have, all they have to do is buy yung ETF na yun or that fund that trades in gold, and walang masyadong kuskus balungos unless hindi tulad ng bibili ka ng physical gold itself. Poproblemahin mo pa yung warehousing niyan, logistics niyan, lahat ng taxes niyan, so ang daming problema. But if you buy ETF, kaya mas maraming tao ang may gusto ng ETF, yun lang yung bibilin mo. You buy it the current market price and then you sell it later at whatever price it is. Nagiging mas lucrative para sa mga investors yung ETFs.
So sir, nowadays, dati kasi sa mga platforms like MT4 and MT5, hindi pa tradable yung ETFs. But ngayon, they can speculate. The usual, kung paano nila tinatrade yung mga currency pairs, like yung ETFs na spiders, ganun. Yan, pwede nila i-trade yun sa platform.
Yan, so tama si Gab, ano? That can also be an available option sa mga traders natin sa MT4 or MT5 platforms para mag-invest sa prices ng gold or mag-speculate sa price ng gold. And also additional recurring theme para sa that drove the price of gold in the first half of 2025 as the inflation and currency hedge status. So, yung inflation concerns and weakening fiat currencies underpin gold's appeal as a store of value. So, ang ibig lang sabihin yan, yung lingering na concerns ng market sa inflation ng US na hindi maibababa, yun yung nagiging cause ng kanilang anxiety, so to speak. Kaya hindi they were having second thoughts kung magkakaroon ba ng cutting of interest rates because hindi bumababa gaano yung inflation value ng inflation rate ng US, which could have a negative effect dun sa real yield ng kanilang mga asset. Maraming salamat smart traders sa pagsama sa ating year-end market recap for Q1 and Q2. Tandaan, staying informed is one of the most powerful tools a trader can have. So if you want to learn more or gusto nyo ng guided support, you can always reach out to our Smart Trade coaches or join our learning sessions, online man o face-to-face. Once again, this is Ed Sagibo of Smart Trade. See you in our next market recap, and trade smart, smart traders.